Good evening. Am I on? No? Is that on? Can y'all? Okay. Check. The Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Board of Trustees are now convened in a regular board meeting on Thursday, June 27, 2019, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, located at 10,300 Jones Road, Houston, Texas, at 6 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience and our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. The agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on this notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by sections 551.071 through 551.084 of the Texas Government Code. These proceedings are airing live on CFTV Channel 16 and CFTV Online on the district website. They will also be rebroadcast throughout the month on Channel 16 and available as video on demand on the website. For the tape to adequately reflect these proceedings, I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. If you haven't done that, please do that. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize our Community Leadership Committee member who is in attendance this evening, Kelly Ray. Kelly, would you stand? There she is. And we usually recognize Boy Scouts, but we don't have any in attendance tonight. The invocation for tonight's board meeting will be...
John Rosenthal just came in.
Oh. And Representative John Rosenthal just came in. John, welcome. Thank you for being here. Whoops, I almost forgot something. All of my grandchildren are listening tonight, so I have to do a shout out to Bryce, who's at Salyards, Molly, who's at Keith, Adeline, who is at Keith, Kelsey, who is at Swinky, and Cole, God love Keith, will be at Keith. So shout out to them. Hi, kids. The invocation for tonight's board meeting will be given to Jaron Jones. Is that correct? Jaron Jones, planter and lead pastor of Shine Bible Fellowship since its inception in 2016. Pastor Jones is inspired to mobilize his church in the community and serve through volunteering. His church has provided volunteers to assist with our annual Bus Buddy program for the past 2 years, getting kids to and from school safely during the first week of school. In addition, he has 2 daughters in CFISD schools, so he sees our needs firsthand. Pastor Jones, we appreciate your commitment to the students and the families of our district, and thank you for being here tonight. Would everyone please rise?
Let's bow for a word of prayer. Father, we thank you tonight for this opportunity and for the precious gift of life. God, we don't take this privilege that you've given us lightly, the privilege to steward your resources in our communities and for our students. Father, you have instructed us to pray for our leaders. And so this is how we start this meeting off tonight. It's in prayer. It's humbly coming before you, saying that we don't have all the answers, but you do. We're not all wise, but you are. And so we seek you for guidance, for wisdom, and for all things tonight. Father, I pray for the leadership that sits on this board tonight, that as they deliberate on decisions that impact not only our students, but our community, that they would do so with love, with compassion, with patience, with humility. For those who are in attendance, who are in supportive roles or in other community roles, God, would you continue to guide us with your ever-loving grace and mercy. Father, we love you tonight, and we thank you for all these things. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. And on top of everything else, I get to read the vision and the mission statement, so you're not going to just be really tired of me, you're going to be really tired of me. Our vision statement is learn, empower, achieve, dream, and the acronym is LEAD. Our mission statement is to maximize every student's potential through rigorous and relevant learning experiences, preparing students to be 21st century global leaders. The oath of office, public hearing, discussion, and reports portion of the agenda were presented at the board work session on Monday, June the 24th, 2019. If you hear us taking action tonight and you want to get some background, you can always go back and take a look at that meeting. We will now move on to the recognitions portion of the agenda. 2A, the board will recognize Micro Center for a $10,000 donation to Goodson Middle School. Bevan Gordon.
Good evening, CFISD board members and Dr. Henry. Tonight, I have the privilege to cheer about incredible people who are making great things happen in CFISD. Micro Center recently competed in Score with Intel Core and won second place in the national contest. Employees gained points by participating in micro lessons and demonstrating their knowledge of Intel Core products. One of Micro Center's prizes was to choose a public school to receive a $10,000 gift. AJ Sakula immediately thought of his daughter Sania's school. Micro Center staff all agreed on Goodson Middle School. Thank you, Micro Center, for choosing Goodson Middle School to share in your Score with Intel Core success. Your gift will provide opportunity for all at Goodson Middle School, and CFISD is grateful for your generosity.
Thank you, Micro Center. This is just awesome to have the community supporting us like you do, and I know Goodson certainly appreciates it. Thank you very much. The superintendent will make remarks and announcements, including honors and achievements earned by staff and students in recent weeks. Dr. Henry?
Thank you, Mr. Covey, trustees. I tell you what, in my career, I've had the opportunity to read out a lot of state champions, luckily, and a lot of things, but this is one that I am just extremely proud of, and I'm happy to announce that Cypress Woods High School was officially crowned the 2019 University Interscholastic League, UIL, 6A Academic State Champion on May 31st. It's the first school to win such an accolade in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD's 79-year history. At UIL competitions, students and schools earn points by placing in competitions which add up to an overall score. Cypress Woods was the only 6A school to earn more than 100 points, finishing with 105.5 points over the academic year. Extremely proud of these young people and their sponsors and all the leadership there at Cypress Woods High School. In athletics, Cypress Ranch High School, which is a perennial state power, baseball team concluded their season in the 6A Region 2 Championship Series, losing a tough 3-game series to McKinney Boyd. But Cypress Ranch had an unbelievable year this year and just did a great job representing Cy-Fair ISD. We also had 2 seniors on Cypress Ranch High School on the baseball team that were selected on the first day in the 2019 Major League Baseball Draft. J.J. Goss went 36th overall to the Tampa Bay Rays, while Matthew Thompson was selected 45th overall by the Chicago White Sox. So think about that. In all of the United States and really across the world, because baseball is a worldwide sport, we had 2 of the top 45 chosen in the baseball draft. But it didn't stop there. We also had Jared Alvarez Lopez, and he was selected a little later in the draft, the 503rd overall pick by the San Diego Padres. So we're really proud of all of these young men, and of course, just the leadership at Cy Ranch and the leadership that Coach Cephas provides there, and then Mr. Zapata as our athletic director. You know, our athletic programs, just like our academic programs, give us a lot to cheer about. And, you know, when we use the terms CFISD for all, this is just a microcosm of what occurs throughout this district throughout the year. So proud of those 2 programs. I would also like to introduce CFISD's new Chief Financial Officer, Karen Smith. Karen, would you please stand? Ms. Smith received her Bachelor of Business Administration Accounting from Texas A&M University. Oh, I didn't know that. We're going to have to rescind this. I didn't. No, we're really proud of Karen. She is a certified public accountant, certified internal auditor, and registered Texas School of Business Administrator. Ms. Smith has served CFISD in her current position as Assistant Superintendent of Business and Financial Services since January 2009, where she helps coordinate and monitor an annual budget of more than $1 billion. Prior to CFISD, Ms. Smith served Klein ISD as its Director of Internal Audit from 1993 to 98 and its Controller from 1999 to 2008. Her public education career began with her role of Assistant Director of Food Service Finance for Northside ISD in San Antonio in 1992. Before joining the public education realm, Ms. Smith worked 10 years in the private sector as an internal auditor and manager of budget and planning. Karen has served on the Texas Association of School Business Officials Board of Directors, and not only as a member of that, she was also the president just a couple of years ago. I'm not going to say anything about her husband and her guests. I'm going to leave that all up to you, but I can tell you as a superintendent, one of the things that I'm most proud of in Cy-Fair ISD is that we have a very deep bench, and even when we lose someone of the caliber of Stuart Snow, which is truly a huge loss to Cy-Fair ISD, it's nice to know that you have such qualified and great people ready to step in when the opportunity presents itself. So I'm proud to present to you Ms. Karen Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. I want to thank Dr. Henry and the board for this amazing opportunity. I feel very fortunate to be selected to follow after such a fine individual as Stuart Snow. And, you know, I came to Cy-Fair, one of the first things I noticed was the family atmosphere and how a district as large as Cy-Fair is so small, really, like small districts and rural districts, and the community feel in Cy-Fair. So I feel so fortunate to be at a district that really does, as Dr. Henry says, CFISD for all. We really do look at all kids in making our decisions and all employees in making our decisions. I came to Cy-Fair for 2 reasons. One was because its reputation. But the other reason was because I had the opportunity to work for Stuart. So, Stuart, I want to thank you for everything. I felt like it was a place where I could be mentored where I wanted to be. And Stuart has done that and more, and I am so grateful for your leadership, your friendship, being a mentor. I couldn't been more lucky to work for you. Thank you. And I would like to thank my family that is here. This is my husband, Joe, who has supported me through everything and let me pursue my dreams and has always been there for me. And I was surprised. I am so excited. My brother-in-law is here, and I lost my sister, but I gained a brother. And I am so fortunate to have him and 2 kids. And I would like to introduce my niece and nephew, who I'm so proud of, Cody. And he's also at Texas A&M University. And Bailey just graduated from high school, and she is going to be going to UT Tyler into nursing school. So I'm so really proud of her. And then I've got the rest of my department here, the finance department that came to support me. And I also have the technology department that I'm going to be over. And so I'm so proud that they have shown up and to support me also. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, if we ever get through letting Stuart retire, y'all let us all know. We will now move on to the board comments portion of the agenda. Any board member may make a comment during the portion of this agenda without prior postings being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this meeting. Do I have any board members that would like to make a statement or talk or visit? Or Ms. Mingoya?
I just wanted to commend the staff of Camp Summit. Had a opportunity to visit with Julie last week, and it is so impressive to see the students learning, so engaged, and to see how excited they are to be part of our summer program. And it's really nice if kids are excited if they're in a summer program, because a lot of kids just want to be home relaxing and not thinking about anything else. But Camp Summit is so much fun that they enjoy it. So shout out to all the employees and all the curriculum staff that support the Camp Summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mingoya. Anyone else? No? Yes. Ms. Blacksher.
I wanted to commend Deborah Stewart and Ife Ogumike and their whole staff for a very smooth graduation. I think we graduated almost 8,500 students, Dr. Henry? 83. And a majority of us were there, all 12 graduations, and it's just quite impressive. You talk about a well-oiled machine. Everything works just like clockwork, and their staff just takes such great care of the board while we're there, and I just want to express my appreciation for a job well done, and to the Berry Center staff as well. And then I also want to congratulate Stuart on his retirement.
Another one.
It's hard to believe, but I've sat where you're sitting tonight, and I know it's bittersweet. You're excited about the next chapter of your life, and at the same time, you hate to lose. You won't really lose all friends, but it's different when you're not in the thick of it every day. So I wish you and Jan all the best in your retirement, Stuart. I know you're going to have a great time, and then to congratulate Karen Smith on her becoming our new CFO, and I look forward to working with Karen and her staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, one final comment. Tomorrow is an auspicious day because it's Dr. Henry's birthday. So would y'all join us in singing happy birthday to Dr. Henry? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, old Mark. Happy birthday to you. Yay. Who says we're not frivolous from time to time? You know, no one. Do we have citizen participation tonight? We do. Okay. Joe Jefferson Jr. is first up. Joe, if you will come to this podium over here, and there are 3 lights on there. The green light will start when you start. The yellow light comes on 30 seconds before the end of the 3 minutes, and then the red light is asking you to complete what you're wanting to say, okay?
Thank you. Good evening to the board members and the superintendent of Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. The purpose of me coming today is to bring to your attention that this district has no intention of diversifying the use of geotechnical engineering subcontractors on its upcoming bond-issued projects. We feel, my company, Geotech Engineering and Testing, feel that this will hurt the district's ability to utilize the experience of local firms with years of experience working in the Cypress area. This also limits the amount of innovative and cost-saving ideas that can come from having an array of highly experienced firms to provide you with quality work. Furthermore, this district should use some of the historically underutilized businesses in this effort. Other school districts such as Houston ISD, Fort Bend ISD, Spring Branch, and Tomball ISD have used hub businesses on their projects. Geotech Engineering and Testing, which is the company I represent today, is a multidisciplinary organization of licensed engineers, field and laboratory technician, and clerical personnel who combine their technical capabilities, past experience, dedication, and enthusiasm to offer the finest service through a combined team effort. GET was founded in 1985, and we staff about 60 engineers, technician, and support staff. The firm is a partnership and is 34 years old, and we have a lot of experience working with educational facilities such as K-12s, community colleges, and universities. We are also one of the largest privately owned Houston-based engineering companies. The firm has been working for districts such as Houston, Fort Bend, Galena Park, Spring Branch, and Tomball for the past 20 years. Our services, including geotechnical, construction material, environmental, and geoforensic engineering, are top-notch. I come to the board today to state that we are a highly qualified firm capable of giving this district top-notch services and only wish for the opportunity to do so. I hope that you will be able to assist us and see that the district receives the best possible work for this future upcoming expansion. I've been trying personally to meet with Mr. Daniel Gross, your Director of Facilities and Planning's Commission. We request the board allow us to meet with Mr. Gross to discuss our capabilities and how we may assist this district. Thank you for your consideration in this very important matter.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Representative John Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. President and Board. Thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to address you all today. I don't have a prepared statement, but I am here. I'm very proud, and I'm very, very happy that we were able to make significant steps in school finance reform. That's going to be the topic of the meeting tonight. The state legislature, as a result of the voices of the people of Texas and the tenor of the entire election, the state legislature was able to make a major step forward in school finance reform. So I don't think it's the end-all be-all, and we still have work to do, but the state funding percentage of funding from the state went from 38% to 45%. Now the goal is to get all the way to half and half. State funds half, and then our property taxes fund the other half. This is a big step in the right direction. So I'm really happy about that. We're going to see the results of it. I came to the Monday night meeting. It looks like a promising budget. You guys always do a great job with the money you have. I feel like in Cy-Fair School District, these folks have learned to do more with less, and they lead the state while being prudent and responsible with our tax dollars. So you guys are to be commended. Stuart, you're just awesome. I'm going to be sad to see you go, but I look forward to working with you, Karen, too. And then about the baseball players, so first I want to introduce my chief of staff sitting over here is Otis Evagaru. He went to Langham Creek High School, Go Lobos. He was coached by Coach Cephas when he played football in high school. And we had the great pleasure of honoring Coach Cephas on the floor of the Texas House this session. So it's great. You have to have great talent to make it to the big leagues for sure, but you don't get anywhere without great coaching. And so that's to be commended. It's just like our talented students in schools. They can have all the talent in the world, but you need great teachers to develop that talent and develop those students. So you guys, again, are to be commended. We've got one of the best school districts in in the state. I'm really proud to represent y'all, and that's what I came to say. So thanks very much for your attention.
Thank you, Representative. The board will now proceed with the consensus action items portion of the agenda. Action items on the consent: 8A, the board will consider approving the tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. 8B, the board will consider approving the minutes for the May 15, 2019 special call board meeting. 8C, the board will consider approving the minutes of the May 16, 2019 committee of the whole board meeting. 8D, the board will consider approving the minutes of the May 20th, 2019 regular board meeting. 8E, the board will consider approving the minutes of the June 3rd, 2019 special call board meeting. The following non-consensus action items were moved to consensus during the board work session on Monday, June 24th, 2019. 9A, the board will consider approving the budget amendments for the period of April 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2019. 9B, the board will consider approving the resolution for the commitment of the district's fund balance. 9C, the board will consider approving a resolution to join and participate in the Education Service Center Region 10 Teacher Employee Recruitment and Retention Program, the plan, and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute all necessary documents related to the plan. The board will consider approving an interlocal agreement with the Education Service Center, ESC, Region 10, to provide a 401A retirement plan through the ESC Region 10 Teacher Employee Recruitment and Retention Program, the plan, and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute all necessary documents related to the plan. 9F, the board will consider a resolution approving the district's investment policy and investment strategy, the investment officers of the district, the independent sources of instruction relating to investment responsibilities for the investment officers of the district, and investment training hours. 9G, the board will consider approving a list of qualified financial institutions, brokers, dealers, and investment advisors that are authorized to engage in investment transactions with the district. 9H, the board will consider approving the attached list of facilities being used by students for off-campus physical education, Category 1, for 2019-2020 school year in the fall. 9I, the board will consider approving a request for the Texas Education Agency expedited waiver to modify the timeline for accelerated instruction. 9J, the board will consider approving a request for the Texas Education Agency general waiver to opt out of participation in the teacher data portal of the Texas Assessment Management System for 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021, and 2021 to 2022. 9K, the board will consider approving the district's instructional material recommendations for Spanish 4 AP. 9L, the board will consider approving the Texas Health and Human Services contract under the Medicaid Administrative Claiming Program between Cypress-Fairbanks ISD and the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. 9M, the board will consider approving the 2019 Harris County Protective Services interlocal agreement with the Harris County Protective Services for Children and Adults, HCPSA, to provide community use services for students and families in the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District. 9N, the board will consider approving the first reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policies. 1, GKA Local, Community Relations, Conduct on School Premises, a revise. 2, GKB Local, Community Relations, Advertising and Fundraising, a revise. 9O, the board will consider approving on second reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policies. 1, CDA Local, Other Revenues, Investments, a revise. 2, CH Local, Purchasing and Acquisition, a revise. 3, CV Local, Facilities Construction, revise. 4, FMA Local, Student Activity, School-Sponsored Publications, revise. 5G Local, public complaints are revised. 9P, the board will consider awarding bids and contracts and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the posted agenda item. 1, appliance repair parts. 2, art and miscellaneous school supplies. 3, assorted food for nutrition services, 2019. 4, athletic and all activity student accident insurance renewal. 5, auto OEM Supreme Body, Todco, Waltco, and Maxim Parts and Labor. 6, bananas for nutrition services. 7, beverages for nutrition services. 8, college readiness and career interest test. 9, copier fleet lease. 10, excess workers' compensation coverage renewal. 11, facilities document archiving project. 12, farm-to-school produce for nutrition services. 13, fresh bread for nutrition services. 14, HVAC condenser and cooling tower treatment services. 15, ice cream for nutrition services. 16, Lenovo desktop cooperative purchases. 17, milk and juice for nutrition services. 18, pizza and pepperoni for nutrition services. 19, processed produce for nutrition services. 20, replacement furniture and equipment, summer of 2019. 21, school liability, privacy and info security and auto insurance renewal. 22, software license and maintenance renewal expansion. 23, structural pest control. 24, WeVideo software. 25, whole produce for nutrition services. 9Q, the board will consider approving a lease agreement with Voger Agricultural Transport Services for the leasing of district-owned vacant land located on the 145-acre Dunham Point tract and authorizing a superintendent or designee to negotiate the terms and conditions of the agreement and execute the same and all related documents. 9R, the board will consider approving the granting of a .5757 acre 25,078 square feet tract for a water line easement to the West Harris County Regional Water Authority, WHCRWA, located on the west side of Fry Road at Andre Elementary School. 9S, the board will consider approving the granting of a 1.5087 acre, 65,719 square feet tract for a waterline easement to the West Harris County Regional Water Authority, WHCRWA, located on the west side of Fry Road at Hopper Middle School. 9T, the board will consider approving the granting of a 1.199 acre, 52,225 square feet tract for a waterline easement to the West Harris County Regional Water Authority, WHCRWA, located on the west side of Fry Road at Cypress Springs High School. And that's it. So I need a motion and a second.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as recommended and/or amended.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. A second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Bengoya. Anybody have any questions or concern? Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Covey, I would like to note that I support those items. However, I must abstain from voting because item 9P, item 3, assorted food for nutrition services. My son is employed by one of the companies that will be receiving a bid from that, so I will be abstaining from voting for that reason.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Any questions or concerns on anything? Okay, so we'll take a vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. That's the right one, Don. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, the
Nailed it.
following non-consensus action items remained on the non-consensus as agreed upon during the board work session on Monday, June 24, 2019. 9E, the board will consider the adoption of the 2019-2020 budget. Do we have a motion?
I move that the board adopt the 2019-20 budget as presented by the administration.
Thank you, Ms. Bengoya. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any questions or concern? Anyone got questions?
I just wanted to just make one comment. I didn't ask questions at the committee of the whole because I wanted a chance to look through everything. I know that some teachers have contacted me and said that they are a little perturbed that the $5,000 that they thought they were getting was not what they get. The average salary increase for our teachers is around $3,300. But that $5,000 was never formally agreed on. That was a proposal in a bill that didn't pass. And so there were so many other considerations in the bills that did pass. I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that even though that was commented on and it was proposed, the bill has many benefits that help us in Cy-Fair, and we gave a very generous salary. In fact, we've been giving salary increases for the last 8 years, and many other districts have not been able to do that. And in fact, we were only required to use about $3 million or so for salary increases for teachers, and we put additional funds into that, upwards of, I think, close to $25 million. And in addition, gave another $10 million to people that are not teachers, counselors, librarians, the particular employees that were discussed in that initial proposed bill. So all in all, I'm very, very pleased, but I wanted to make sure that we did clarify that one position, and people that did have questions, that's what I've been explaining to them, and I just wanted to make the audience aware of that as well. Thank you, Mr. Covey.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Mongoya. That's really great. I appreciate you doing that explanation.
I want to echo
Ryan?
kind of what Darcy said. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say the same thing as well. And I think when Representative Rosenthal hit the nail on the head when he said we do more with less. If you look at the last 8 years, Stuart, the job that your team has done has been amazing, that we were able to give raises when we were funded considerably less than our neighboring districts. And we still gave raises. And then to Mark and your team, I think what you see from our administration, when we have very low administrative cost, and I think you've seen it from our board, is that we value and appreciate our employees. And I think that's the most important thing, and the most important message that we want to send is, I think to a person up here, we all know that our real success happens on the campus. That's where our success happens. And so you're valued, you're appreciated, and I think for the district to pony up an additional $22 million, that's a huge "I value you" statement. And so I commend the financial team, I commend our administration. They've just done a great job, and I'm pleased with our budget, I can tell you that.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Any other comments? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the administration that answered so many of my questions. I did have a lot of questions as the newest member of the board about the budget, so I appreciate Karen Smith and Teresa Hull sitting down with me and answering many of my questions. The two words that really pop out for me looking at the budget is conservative and consistent. It's a conservative budget because there is no guarantee that this funding from the state will be there next year or the year after. So we want to make sure that we don't, as a board, make promises to our employees that we may not be able to keep down the road. So we want to be conservative with the dollars that we have while adding, as you said, $22 additional million, but we want to make sure that we can meet those expectations in the future. So we want to be conservative, not just with our employees, but also with our tax dollars. And it's consistent in that all these years, I've been on, as a parent, seeing the investment put into our classrooms and our transportation and nutrition services, and I appreciate that as a parent for my kiddos. But this budget reflects our values, and that's that everybody who works for Cypher ISD impacts our students, from the first person who sees them first thing in the morning to the last person who drops them off at the end of the day. So I appreciate that the budget recognizes everyone's contribution to our students. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Okay. I will say to the listening public that if you will watch Monday night, you will see an excellent presentation that Karen Smith made to us as far as the budget went and the support of Stuart. And there's a lot of questions that were answered that evening. So if you have questions about it, please go back and look at our Monday night meeting. All in favor, please say aye. Raise your right hand. Stand up and turn around. Aye. I always forget which one I'm going to do. Okay. Last one, 9U, the board will consider approving board members to serve as delegate and alternate delegate to the 2019 Texas Association of School Board, TASB, Annual Delegate Assembly. We actually discussed this the other Monday night, and Debbie Blackshear is the person that we have chosen to be our delegate, and her backup is Dr. Ogletree. Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move that the board select Debbie Blackshear as delegate and Dr. John Ogletree as alternate delegate to the Texas Association of School Boards Annual Delegate Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you very much, Ms. Heineman. All in favor, raise your right hand. And that's unanimous. Thank you. And now we have Dr. Henry will provide the superintendent's briefing portion of the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Covey, trustees, and Ms. Blackshear touched on this a little earlier, but we had 11 CFISD graduation ceremonies at the Berry Center on May 29th through June 1st, which produced a total of 8,270 graduating seniors. We had approximately 67,000 guests attend the commencements at the Berry Center, and more than 46,000 others watched the ceremonies through live streaming.
That's awesome.
And just to give board members a reminder, we're adding 2 high schools next year, so we'll add a little more time together.
You want to take the month off.
Certainly, one of the things that I'm grateful for is that our board members do everything possible to attend the every graduation ceremony that they can, and most of them attend every one of them. And I can tell you, it was kind of interesting that a couple of weeks before we graduated this year, I had a superintendent from another large district come up and say, "Do your board members still go to all the graduations?" And I said, "Oh yeah, number one, we've got a great facility and people take care of the board members there. But number two, they want to be there." And this superintendent said, "Well, my board members are kind of tired of going to all of them." And I've never sensed that from any of our trustees, and certainly am appreciative of that attitude. The 11th Annual CFISD Rigor, Relevance, and Relationship Leadership Conference was held at the Berry Center June 4th through 6th. More than 1,400 leaders from Texas school districts participated in the conference. The conference offered over 100 different sessions on relationship building, working with students from poverty, best practices, instructional technology, and school safety. And certainly I would be remiss if I did not recognize Dr. Linda Macias, and I know she has some team members, and I'm going to ask Dr. Macias' team members who happen to be here tonight if they would stand, who helped support her on this effort, because even the commissioner said it's the best PD conference that he's ever seen in the state of Texas. So thank you, Dr. Macias and team. Having said that, hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable July 4th next week, and we'll look forward to starting our new fiscal year on Monday with our new CFO, Karen Smith and Stewart. Once again, we, the past 8 years, I can say one thing I never worried about was money management in this district, and that's thanks to not just your abilities, but the honesty and the character that you demonstrate every day. So thank you so much for all you've done.
Thank you. I'm going to miss you too.
And we want to thank all of you for staying through this extremely lengthy meeting, and we're adjourned. Have a good July.